Hello, everybody. This is Rachel from Two Tickets Please, off of Rachel and Chris, and I am doing a post-record pre-edit apology. The podcast you're about to hear, we recorded on the 31st of January, and as I sit here now, we're coming up on the end of March. I had grand plans of being able to maintain the editing and the lofty heights of podcasting while I was out on student placement trying to become a teacher. But obviously that did not go to plan. So my apologies for this being so unbelievably late and the film is so not relevant anymore. But the podcast is fun and Chris is in a silly, goofy mood while we recorded this. So I wanted to share it. And yeah, hope you enjoy. I'm so sorry it's so late. And I think fingers crossed we might be able to get a couple more pods out. But it's all cooking. It's all cooking. Um, the wedding is looming over us large, so a lot of our spare time is gone into that, and we're both very busy. But hopefully, we'll get out a few more pods. But yeah, apologies for this being so late, and I hope you enjoy.
We are ready. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode number 17 of
Two tickets, please.
Two Tickets, Please. This is the premiere Glaswegian podcast for rating movies.
Does premiere not mean first?
No, I think it can mean first, but I think it can also mean premiere, like it is premium.
Would it not just be the premium podcast for
Possibly.
review?
Maybe I've got that wrong. If you are dictionary people, please write in to tell me I'm wrong. I'm wrong quite often. Anyway,
Welcome back.
how are you this week? What have we been up to?
I'm good this week. So we have decided this week to go for an audio only format, I'm afraid.
Yes, we shall be going back to audio format just for the time being. We most profusely apologise to our diehard fans that want to see the inner workings of our messy flat.
But I have seen there's been no feedback on the video.
No, not really.
I've not heard anyone say anything about the video.
To be fair, Gen 10 did say she really liked it.
Oh, did she? You
Yeah.
didn't tell me that.
Oh, I thought she had said it. This is one of these conversations that I reckon she probably just sent me into it as a message, but I feel like we were all there, all three of us, and she said it to both of us.
I think you do that quite a lot.
Yeah, I think I do that a lot.
But
Anyway,
she said she liked it.
Anyway, she said as soon as the first one with our video went up, she said, "I have been dying for this to happen." so shout out to Gen 10 for giving us that sort of feedback. We love it, but just for the time being, Rach is about to go to her second placement,
and
with
I
teacher
do all
training.
the editing.
And Rach does all the editing and spends however much time on the computer editing it, and it takes such a long time, and you already have your lesson plans to do and all of that. So just to give ourselves a little bit of a step back on the workload, ourselves, you,
Yeah.
a little step back on the workload,
Yeah.
then it means, and also I know nothing about how to edit it.
We're
Unless
gonna-
you told me how to do it, I'd still probably mess it up.
I think it would take you a long time. The thing is, it's not difficult, but it takes a long time
Yeah.
to make sure everything looks nice. Whereas if it's just audio, if it's just us yapping on, I can go beep, boop, 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 and upload it. So
It's a lot easier.
we can record and have it ready to go in one evening rather than me doing it. But it has allowed me to post quite a lot on like social media. So I've got
Yes.
these little reels ready to go. I've done a few TikToks. So if you'd like to go and follow us on Instagram or look at our TikTok, please do. And if you would like to follow the Two Tickets Please podcast or give us a little review, if it's 5 stars only, if it's anything less than 5 stars, just keep your opinions to yourselves.
If it's not a glowing report, we don't want it.
But we love doing this and we'd like to keep doing it. And I think it
Absolutely.
would be really nice if some other people found the show.
Well, we've got a bank of visual media to be able to upload, right?
A couple things of visual media to upload.
And maybe that'll last us until February break. And then maybe February break we might be able to do another video. But that's making no promises, people. Don't put that up.
Fingers crossed. It would be nice. I really enjoyed doing the video format, so it would be nice to go back to that. But yes, how have I been? Well, today we had a lovely day. What have we done today? We went to.
You went to Pilates. I went down to rugby.
You have been what I would describe a vintage weapon.
Oh yeah, I've been a vintage weapon over the last 2 days.
We did a little wardrobe clear out for Chris's side of the wardrobe, and I was like, I think you should get rid of this, 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 and this. And I was bagging it all up to take to the charity shop, and Chris went, no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Give me that stuff. And I went, really? People will buy this? And you went, trust me, I know. I had zero faith anyone would buy your
if anybody
tracksuits.
Now that we don't have a visual media, you can picture my face being smug yet gassy.
And you were like, no, hold my beer. Took half of the stuff away and was like, Rachel, I'm going to upload this.
This stuff will sell.
I thought, sure, sweetheart, sure.
Like most of it, fair enough. No sale happening on that.
Obviously, a few things like old t-shirts and a couple of my shirts were like straight to the charity shop. But also, if your stuff isn't nice enough to go to the charity shop, just recycle it. Don't take it down there and make them do it. Just take it to the dump. But you were like, no, I'm going to upload this. Me thinking it wouldn't sell. You text me back, sold 5 things.
Yeah, sold 5 things, made 80 quid.
And so we had all these parcels to take down to the post office.
Which we did this morning. The real kicker is that I also had something to pick up from Vinted.
And did you pick up anything from the post office?
I forgot to do. Today was specifically a dropping off day.
And you went back twice. You forgot something.
I didn't forget it. I thought that one thing was an in-post. So we went to post office first because we thought there was going to be a queue, and then went to the in-post locker because there's never a queue and you just open the locker, right? But then I thought this thing was an in-post one, but it wasn't. It was a raw mail, so we had to go back.
So back we went. And then after that, we went across to the south side of Glasgow, and we went for a coffee in Verse,
which is in Shawlands, I believe is the area name.
Yes, and I believe it's like owner-run, cute little coffee shop. Delicious coffee.
Absolutely delicious.
Very nice.
Coffee.
Recommend highly.
And also a combo that we didn't expect. Coffee and pizza goes very well. We went to the.
Oh yeah, we did.
We went to the. What's it called again?
It was called Sears.
Sears Pizza. That's it. And there's one in the West End on Byres Road, which we've been meaning to go to for ages. Yet every time that we've tried to go, it's been closed.
We did try and go on like the 1st of January, so I think that's.
I think that was slightly wishful thinking. However, I mean, it kind of seemed like the sort of place. It sells pizza by the slice, which is really good for people who are also former pupils of the school that we went to. Will know Pizza Paradise from around the corner.
Pizza P.
Very similar, yet much cheaper.
We went there, coffee in hand. A bit cheeky to walk in with your coffee.
They didn't sell coffee in there, though.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point. It was nice. It wasn't my favorite piece of pizza I've ever had.
I really enjoyed it considering how I was feeling. It just made me. It filled a little hole. It cheered me up.
Yeah.
I was going into this pizza place. I was like, my coffee's too hot. It's raining outside. I don't like it. And then I went in. I had my little slice of pizza, and we shared 2 pieces to start off with. Yep. They didn't have their speciality one, and then they made their speciality one, and I went, oh, I want some of that.
Mm-hmm.
I had some of that, and it was easily the best one.
It was the best one
of the 3. However, I had my little bites of little pizza, and I went, this has filled a hole. I am happy now.
Yeah, did a little happy wiggle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's been a really nice afternoon, and we've come home and we're recording the pod for you today. I am going out on placement this week, so I am trying to wrap my head around that. Have you got anything else to tell us about?
We received our first RSVPs.
Oh, of course, yes.
In the mail, which is very exciting for our wedding.
Our wedding invites.
Forthcoming nuptials.
Our wedding invites went out last week?
I think 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. And we got our first RSVPs, not from people that I thought we'd get first RSVPs from. However, very important people that we needed to know whether they definitely could or definitely couldn't make it.
Actually, the first person I heard from that got their invite was my brother. I don't think he listens, but if he does, apologies, Ali. I got a text from my brother like 2 days after we put them in the post, and he just goes, do I need to send this RSVP back, or does this text count? And honestly, I could have put money on that response happening. So he's also coming, but I don't actually think we're getting an RSVP
Or
from
is he
him.
not sending it?
I don't think he's sending it, no.
That just kind of helps with our paperwork.
I was like, just put it back. Like, there, it's stamped. So the envelope.
We've spent money on the stamp, Ali.
Exactly. So the envelope inside has a stamp of our address so that we didn't have to write it out for every single one. And then they're like pre-stamped, ready to go in the letterbox. All he needs to do is tick it, sign his name, and put it in the letterbox. And he was like, "Does this count?" I'm like, "Okay." Peel off the stamp and use it for something else then.
Yeah. Cheers for that, Ali.
But yeah, it feels very real and very exciting. There's going to be
so
at
excited.
least 7 of us there.
Yep, at least 7.
Very exciting.
Very good.
So this week we went to see 28 years later, Bone Temple. The Bone Temple?
The Bone Temple, I think.
28
The Temple
years,
of Bones.
28 years later, The Bone Temple. But before we discuss that, we are going to tell you what we had for
Snack of the showing.
Snack of the showing. I actually kind of want to get an air horn. Is that awful?
You've got one big long one here. Me.
But you're too loud. And I worry that on the audio it sounds terrible.
You've got one big long noisy thing.
So feedback for
And a mic.
for the air horn noises. What did we have for snack of the showing?
We went to M&S beforehand because we actually hadn't had dinner, but we're also trying to be good with having properly nutritious things for dinner rather than going and having a hot dog and some popcorn and all that. So whilst we will definitely have a hot dog and more popcorn, we're not saying that you shouldn't have those if that's what you want, but we just felt like making a better choice. So I had an apple crumble yogurt pot thing.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you have?
I had the banoffee one, and now you only got the apple crumble one because there was only one banoffee pot left.
Yes, I would have had a banoffee one had there been 2.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But actually, now that I think of it, I'd put them on par with each other.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I saw it and
you wouldn't like the crumble because you don't like the crumbly bits or apple as much as I like
I'm not
apple.
really into that flavor profile. Like, I don't really like apple crumble. I don't really like apple pie. I don't really like that kind of like buttery, appley texture. I also love the banoffee pot, the banoffee yogurt pot. It was really delicious. I had that, and then I also had a little bag of us saying we're trying to be nutritionally good, and me being like, obviously I had a bag of chocolate. I had a bag of little eggs from M&S, which are their Swiss.
Oh, like they're yeah, it says Swiss on the bag.
Swiss chocolate range, I want to
yes.
say.
Yeah, I think you can call it Swiss chocolate range.
And they were little eggs wrapped in this lilac purple foil, and they were filled with a praline nougat mousse thing. It's really hard to describe, but they were sensational.
Delicious chocolate, pretty much.
They were £3, and I got about 9 in the bag, which is even more expensive than mini eggs.
I got none.
You did get one.
Did I get one? I don't think I got one.
Oh, did you not get one?
I don't think I got one.
I think, did I not offer you a single one?
I didn't mind not having one.
I remember what you had. I remember what you had. You had that walnut whip thing that was actually an egg on the top.
So I did, which I wasn't impressed by.
When did we go and see this film?
I want to say last week.
If you can't tell, we actually went to see this quite a long time ago, so we're having to scrape the memory barrel.
We've just watched both of the trailers just to jog our memory.
And we also didn't write anything down. So you had a little walnut whip thing with like a splat egg on the top from the M&S Easter range. And you didn't like it?
No, not compared to a normal walnut whip. I love a walnut whip.
You do love a walnut whip.
And I also had a little tray of mango and melon.
Oh, so you did. See, this is all coming flooding back to
me. There we go.
But that's what we had for our snack of the showing. M&S bits. We need to stop going to M&S before we go to the cinema because honestly we spend about £20 every day.
Yeah, we're spending a lot of money on it.
And I had some grapes.
And you had grapes. You're big into your white grapes at the minute.
I love a white grape.
White seedless grapes.
Love, love, love. I like the huge ones. It's like an apple. You can take a big bite out of it. So, sweetheart, did we make it in time for the trailers?
Nope, not this week. On to our escalator review then.
Okay, fair. We didn't. We were late.
No, we didn't. Too long in M&S.
This has only happened to us once before, but we did not make it in time for the
Did
trailers.
not make
On
it.
another note, I found an air horn noise that I'd like to share with everyone.
Go for it.
Ready?
I think we're better.
I think we are better because you want the multiple pulses. You don't just
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
I can't. Should we get an air horn for the wedding?
We could. I feel I'm afraid that somebody will just grab that and play with it the entire time.
Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel.
Daniel, next question.
Sorry, Daniel.
Anyway, sorry, that was a complete tangent. This week we went to see 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Now, this is the third installment of the 28 Years Later franchise. It's actually technically not. It's technically the fourth installment.
It feels a bit like a sequel to the last one.
But it's actually technically, so we had 28 Days Later, the original film in 2007, I want to say, with Cillian Murphy, directed by Danny Boyle. Brilliant zombie film. Then there was a film with Jeremy Renner. Do you remember that one? The sort of Americanized version called 28 Weeks Later.
I did not see it.
Did you have you not seen it?
I have still not seen it, no.
So it's not nearly as good as 28 Days Later. So 28 Days Later, the 2002 horror film, sorry, and I think 28 Weeks Later was 2007. Then we have this follow-up film 28 Years Later, and which was 2025, and now we have the sequel to 28 Years Later, which is called 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple.
Just a controversial point, sorry to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it might have been slightly more artistic if they had actually done 28 Years Later, 28 years after the first film.
I know, that would have been really cool, but we would have had to wait a while.
Yeah.
So
we would have had to wait another...
We wouldn't have gotten this, 2002? Well, no. So 2030.
Yeah.
So I actually have something to tell you about these films. I know you haven't seen 28 Weeks Later. I think it's a bit of an outlier. I don't think it really gets that much attention. It's an okay film if you like the franchise. But 28 Days Later was obviously directed by Danny Boyle. 28 Weeks Later was not. 28 Years Later was. This one, 28
it's
Years
not.
Later, is not. It's directed by someone called Nia. So I think that's something I didn't know before we went in.
I think it shows.
But now that I know it, it really does show.
Why have they done it like that?
I have no idea.
I've got no idea.
I wonder if so they filmed 28 Years Later, and immediately after that, The Bone Temple. So I wonder if, like, schedule-wise, Danny Boyle couldn't fit it in or something.
Maybe Danny Boyle's doing something else and we should keep an eye out.
That's what I was thinking too. I wonder if it just, like, didn't really fit with the schedule. So to lead us up into this film and your synopsis, 28 Days Later is the 2002 film, is about the character Cillian Murphy, whose name is Jim, I want to say.
I cannot remember for the life of me.
Wait, hang on. Let me.
But he basically wakes up in a hospital, 28 days after the outbreak of the infection.
Yep.
That causes everybody to turn into zombies.
Yep, because he's been out. God, I think he had brain surgery or something. Because remember in the first scene, he's got that like shaved head.
Yes.
So yeah, exactly that. His name is Jim. I've just found it. So that's really interesting that his name's Jim. And then we'll talk about it later. But there's a whole thing about Jimmies. So he wakes up 28 days after the infection has spread across London. There's that really iconic scene of Cillian Murphy wearing that hospital scrubs as he walks across Tower Bridge. No, towards Parliament. I don't know what that bridge is called.
I thought he goes away from Parliament. Never mind. Minute
Are
detail,
you joking me?
Minute detail that does not need to be talked about.
So it's a classic, like, British horror film. Really, it feels very low budget. We actually went to see it in Renfrew Street, and you'd never seen it before. I have, because obviously I like a zombie film.
Yeah, they did like a throwback showing, didn't they?
They did indeed. So back when Renfrew Street was still kicking, we had our unlimited tickets. I took you to see it, and you'd never seen it before. Did you like the first film?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I was a bit skeptical because I find gore in films really tough to watch. Mm-hmm. But actually, I found this one to be a little bit like I find that new films they either take it too far to the point where it seems really comical,
Yeah, agree.
or they like the prosthetics are really not unbelievable,
Hmm.
but stupidly out there.
Yeah,
So it makes it seem a bit funny rather than oh ouch.
yeah,
I hate it when gore seems to be so realistic that I can imagine it happening on myself,
yeah,
and then I'm just like, ugh, no thanks. So but this one again, it didn't feel like that.
yeah. A little bit
I
unrealistic.
could handle it.
Yeah. So that film sort of stood on its own for a while, and then they announced 28 years later. I'm really stoked about this. Like, I love these types of films. So 28 years later, I don't know if anyone remembers, but in the promo and everything, so it's Aaron Taylor Johnson plays the father of a boy named Spike, and the mother is Jodie Comer, and the mother is dying of cancer, I
Yes,
believe.
but they don't know it's that until Spike and his mum. But Spike takes his mum into the mainland because they live on Lindisfarne. Am I all right?
Oh, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
They live on this island that is connected to the mainland. The mainland is where the outbreak happened.
Mhm.
So this community have been living on this island since then, and it gets cut off from the mainland at high tide.
And also, in that bubble, and then there's the bubble of Britain,
Yeah,
and the infection hasn't spread to the rest of the world. So it is just Britain that has the infected.
yeah.
Because that's a really key point in 28 years later. Do you remember when
The soldier,
the soldier, exactly, from the Netherlands?
Norway maybe
Norway?
or Netherlands, one of those countries.
He comes across and he's got like a girlfriend, and he shows Spike a picture of his girlfriend who's obviously got 2025 face. And Spike goes, "What's wrong with her face?" Because obviously everything in Britain has stood still in 2002 and
Yeah.
not moved forward at all. When Spike sees this picture of this woman, it's like, what is wrong with her face? She's got like the lip filler, the pout, and the whole thing going on, which is really funny.
He's like, there was a girl in our community that was like that once. She ate a shellfish and had an allergic reaction.
So yeah, so Spike takes Jodie Comer, the mom, to
To
see
go and see Dr. Kelson,
Dr. Kelson on the mainland.
who the rest of the community seems to have shunned because I think they just see him as a bit of an outsider, but he's
Mhm.
stayed on the mainland and he's a doctor, so he's kind of figured out a way of life to live around the infected and stuff like that. But he's a doctor, he's a medical doctor, so Spike obviously thinks you can help my mum.
Yep.
Diagnoses her with terminal cancer, and she's about to die.
Yes, and she dies, and Dr. Kelson has this sort of. There's a word for it. There's a word for the way he stacks the skulls and the bones, and he uses it in the film, and I can't remember what the word is.
Oh, I don't remember him using the word.
But he's got this temple of bones. So all the people that he's cared for or lost or found their body, he burns the flesh off the bones in a sort of makeshift furnace that he has, and he stacks the bones up, or like wraps the like femur bones, longer bones around trees, and has this big tower of skulls. You'll have seen it if you've seen any of the posters or any of the promo for this. It's a big tower of skulls. So that is the setup for the bone temple. Spike is running away and comes across this sort of, in air quotes, cult of Jimmys, like the name Jimmy. And that's where the sort of film closes off. And I remember talking about this when we went to see 28 years later, and me being like, oh yeah, the Jimmy Savile reference. And you were like, what? So there's this like group of people wearing these bleach blonde long hair wigs at the end of that film, and Spike has run away and encountered them. And yeah, it sort of just cuts there. So it's quite obvious that there is a second part coming. So when we went to see that, we knew Bone Temple was coming already.
And we also don't really know if they're goodies or baddies at that point because they save Spike in a way from getting killed by the infected.
There's a sort of sinister nature to them.
Well, because you're the best judge of character, you already knew that they were
Well,
going to be.
I picked up on the
off.
fact he was dressed up as Jimmy Savile, and if you hadn't picked up on that, I can see why you wouldn't know if they were good or bad.
I think I'd kind of picked up on that, but I didn't think that it was necessarily meant to tell you anything about the character. I think it just sort of, I think it was just why don't we dress up this character as Jimmy Savile? But
I can't believe you think a filmmaker would do that without giving it an iota of thought.
no, they absolutely would. But
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know why the decision was made.
So that's where 28 years later cuts, and then we have this sequel to that film. Chris, time for you to shine.
Time for me to shine. So it sort of follows on for the next steps for Spike and his experience in the Jimmy cult,
Jimmy Cole.
in
Cult of
which
Jimmy's.
the leader is played by Jack O'Connell, and his real name is Jimmy, and he calls all of his followers Jimmy.
They're all called Jimmy.
They're all called
It's
Jimmy.
actually quite confusing.
And the sort of premise is that they're Satanists. They follow Satan. They try to act in a way that they see Satan as telling them to act. And the sort of premise of the 5 fingers of Satan to form a fist of Satan. So there's 5 of them, including Jimmy himself. And every time that they take on a new person, that new person must pick on somebody to fight to the death, and then take that person's place if they win, or they don't take place if they are beaten.
Was it not 7 fingers? Because there was 6 Jimmys.
Was there?
Yeah.
I thought there was 5 at the end. Oh well.
There was 5 at the end, but they started out with 7 and then 2 of them die. Which
they changed it in the middle to talk about 5 fingers.
Yeah,
instead.
I know. I don't really understand
It's
that
a little
either.
bit confusing.
I think that was weird.
Anyway, and they bump into Dr. Kelson, and because he covers himself in iodine, he sort of seems a bit red, and they think that he is the devil. But obviously Spike knows different. And in sort of cutaways from the Jimmy cult, we are with Dr. Kelson, and he has been busy learning about Samson, the alpha infected zombie, with the big penis.
That was the fallout of 28 years later, was the big schlong.
Oh my god, have you seen this?
He like drops down into a train carriage, I think it is.
Yes.
And it's like the first thing you see is this humongous prosthetic penis, and you're like, wow.
Anyway, he's sort of been with Samson, and Samson has been going to him to try and get more morphine.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's what I thought. I don't know what you thought.
So Samson is also as the alpha, you said. So I think they like also kind of command the other infected around them and seem a little bit more switched on. Is the wrong way to describe a zombie.
Sentient.
But yeah, exactly.
Thinking.
Sentient,
the thinking zombie.
And at the start, Samson goes to Dr. Kelson because he's got arrows in his chest, and he's like going to him being like, mate, can you help me out?
Which must have happened in the past for him to remember that, you know?
Yep.
And then he keeps on going to him to receive a little jag of morphine from Dr. Kelson, and it sort of relaxes him, and they start to sort of, Kelson starts to learn about him.
Yep.
And try and understand him a little bit more. Which is where we sort of come to a big revelation in the film, isn't it?
Yeah, so Kelson's a man of science. So he's got this little underground bunker, and he's obviously a doctor in a past life, and he's doing all of this research about the infected, and like obviously is a very intelligent man and is a man of science, and is like, I can have this bond almost. The way he talks to Samson is quite interesting, I think. They've got this sort of connection, even though Samson's an infected, and really he should be scared of him. But yeah, that's the kind of setup.
Do you want to get into your review now?
I shall get into my review.
What did you think?
My review proper.
Of the film.
So, I loved 28 Days Later. I loved 28 Years Later. That is where I sort of entered this film. I also entered this film not knowing it wasn't Danny Boyle's direction. I think we've lost the zombie element in this film. I love a zombie film. World War Z is one of my favorite films, which is such a rogue choice, but I love it so much.
You love it. I love watching you watch it because you love it so much.
I do.
It's actually really good. You should watch it. Viewers, listeners, you should watch it.
Why do I like that film so much? That's such a rogue choice, but
I really like it because of the soundtrack, to be honest.
I love that film. I love zombie films. I think we've talked about it before. Train to Busan is one of the best zombie films I've ever seen. And I came into this sort of with that background. What they've done here is the infected are no longer the scary thing. So the people in this film, the characters have found a way to not live with, but almost cope with the issue of the infected. Like they seem really good at being able to just sort of spear them, shoot them. Like if you live your life in a specific way, you can avoid the infected. You can avoid basically the threat of zombies. And so removing that threat of zombies from a zombie film,
There has to be something new to make the audience feel that fear.
exactly.
And I think they did that in this film pretty well.
They plugged that hole with the scariness of this cult of Jimmys. So this group of people led by Jack O'Connell's character, Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal, in this purple velour tracksuit with his Antichrist pendant and his little tiara. Like, fully, this man is scary because he's unhinged, like, he's lost the plot. So, Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal is actually the wee boy who was hiding in the church in the start of 28 years later, the wee blonde boy.
And I've seen people talk about his not initiation, but his initial thoughts of Satanism when he saw his dad get set upon by the infected, and his dad turned red.
Yeah, so his dad was the pastor of the local church. The opening of 28 years later is this really cool sequence of him hiding in the church with his dad, and his dad's like praying, and then the infected flood in, and he obviously gets infected. And so that's sort of the background of Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal, to use his full title. And so the Jimmy Savile sort of reference, I believe, is that obviously if the outbreak happened in 2002, the scandal about Jimmy Savile would never have come to light. So this man sort of he bases his image on his favorite character from TV, which is Jimmy Savile. Did you not?
I did not pick up on that.
So that's kind of what I have taken from it. I think there's obviously an additional layer there of a sort of, like, obviously this is a horror film, and what Jimmy Savile did and his legacy is horrifying.
Horrific. Yeah.
So there's a sort of layers upon layers there, which I'm not eloquent enough to sort of explain why it's so chilling, but I think it really did work. I think the nature of all of the Jimmys dressed up in that bleach blonde wig is really scary. So we've lost the scariness of the zombies, but it's been plugged with the scariness of this cult of really terrifying people. The things they do to other people they find are also horrifying. So
they flay them, don't they? Peel their skin off.
Yeah, and they
really bad.
Call it charity, which again is a link to Jimmy Savile and his like charity work. Again, really, really bleak.
You also had this thing with Teletubbies as well.
Yes, the Teletubby thing. So they like skin people alive and stuff like that, and just really, really kind of grim. I think it worked as a plug, so the fear from this film comes from humans, not zombies anymore. For me, this is now not a zombie film.
Yeah,
it's a film with zombies.
That's fair.
It's a horror film with a sprinkle of zombie, which I don't know if I loved that, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as impactful to me.
Yeah, it wasn't a zombie film in the end of the day.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Would you like to hear my main critique?
Yes.
So my main critique following on from that is that really in this film nothing new happened. So everything that we learned about life in Britain 28 years after the infection spread, we'd already learnt in 28 years later. So we'd learnt about the way the infected kill people. They basically, like, really actually quite grotesque, lift the top half of their heads off and pull the top of their heads off with their spinal cords.
Well, that's how the alpha does because he's so strong.
And so we'd learnt that bit kind of being scary. We'd actually already interacted with the cultists because at one point Aaron Taylor Johnson, whose name I can't remember, he just calls him Dad, I think, and Spike come across a flayed body. So we kind of know there's a human threat there that is already introduced.
Hold on, there's something fishy going on here.
Exactly. We already know about the Jimmy skinning people. We already know about Dr. Kelson. Dr. Kelson's not a new character. We already kind of floated this idea that the Alphas and Samson are potentially a little bit more in touch with their humanity than perhaps
A little bit
we
cleverer.
knew. I just, everything that happened that was sort of conclusive in this film could have happened in the previous film.
I think that the revelation that we come to with Samson, once he's morphined up, he can speak.
So Dr. Kelson treats the infection like you would treat psychosis, and that ends up working.
Yeah. And so then Samson starts to say things,
Yeah.
right? Which Dr. Carlson says anyway. I'm not a doctor. He is a make believe doctor, so he said this.
I would trust Ralph
So
to take out my spleen.
He's got far more fake qualifications than I do. And he says that sort of alludes to the notion that the infection covers over the person underneath and doesn't replace them.
Yep.
Even though they're kind of undead, but never mind.
And they eat brains.
Yeah, which just seems really unhealthy, but never mind. So that revelation, I feel like, could have been done in the previous film.
Yep.
And the only other new thing, realistically, that I could discern from this film was that Dr. Kelson loves rock and roll music. And that's about the two new things that we didn't look at in 28 years later compared to this one.
Yeah, that's not enough for a full film, though, in my opinion.
No, I mean, we got the threat of the Jimmies.
That's not enough to flesh out a whole other film.
It wasn't quite enough.
It felt a bit hollow. The film felt a little bit empty. It felt like there were some big punches trying to be thrown, but they didn't quite land. Like, I think the idea of humanity being the actual villain, not the zombies, is really interesting. But I just don't know if it was fleshed out well enough. No pun intended. Fleshed out for a zombie film.
Oh, she's on the puns.
There were glimmers of this. The best part about this film was actually the acting, I think.
Yes.
I thought Ralph Fiennes was incredible.
Ralph Fiennes was probably the best
this film.
Best thing about this film.
I thought Jack O'Connell was really good.
Jack O'Connell was really good.
So we already like Jack O'Connell because we like him from SAS Rogue Heroes.
Yes.
And he was also in Sinners as the vampire, and we loved him in Sinners as well. So.
He was an excellent villain.
Brilliant.
Excellent villain. He was a sort of pantomime villain in Rogue Heroes, wasn't he?
Yeah, kind of.
He wasn't a villain. Him. He wasn't a villain, but he was kind of like on the edge.
Yeah, we were obsessed with him in that film. That TV show, SAS Rogue Heroes, if you haven't seen it, is actually really, really worth a watch. Very good. Very good dad rock soundtrack in that TV show as well.
Fantastic.
Really good.
I think Alfie Williams deserves a shout out as well.
The kid.
I think he is sort of gone under the radar with Owen Cooper at the minute, playing whatever his name was in Adolescence, because he was amazing in that. Deserves all the accolades he gets. However, I think Alfie Williams, especially in 28 years later, the film before this one, was absolutely terrific. It's definitely a smaller role comparatively in each film he's been in compared to Owen Cooper in Adolescence, who was obviously the main character. But I feel like Alfie Williams acted this so well that I felt equally as scared and as hopeless as he felt in the Jimmy cult as I was feeling at that point. Like, I felt the same feelings that he was feeling because he was acting it so well.
Yeah, he was sensational in 28 Years Later.
Yes.
Like, he was really good. Obviously, that story, that narrative is a little bit more about him, but he was really, really good at it because it was hard acting. It was him losing his mom. Like, he had such a close relationship with his mom, and he had that sort of, do you remember, frayed relationship with his dad, where his dad was trying to develop his skills to live in the world and like shoot arrows and stuff, and trying to toughen him up.
Yeah.
And really all he wanted was for his mum to be okay. And he was really good in 28 Years Later. He was good in this as well, but as you say, he didn't get as much screen time.
This was Ralph Fiennes' film, not his.
He was so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Do
agree.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas the previous one was his.
Yeah. There were bits of this where I was a bit like, what is happening?
Mhm.
Like where Ray Fiennes and Samson were like getting high.
That was really funny.
What actually is going on?
That was so funny.
I jumping forward a little bit, I really liked the ending.
Me too.
So the end of 28 Days Later, so the first film going back to 2002, Cillian Murphy manages to escape London and the infected. He ends up in a wee cottage in the countryside, and he sort of manages to hide away and live his life there. And at the end of this film, we cut to the cottage, and I clocked it. I was like, I'd actually like rested my head down to basically fall asleep.
You sat up. You jolted upright in your seat.
I was like, oh, I recognize that cottage. And it was Cillian Murphy's character, Jim, studying with his daughter for like a history test or something. The context of that is crazy as well. Like, why is she sitting a history test? And he was apparently the one who wrote the test. That was written into the dialogue as well.
Bestie, tell her the answers.
Yeah, Bessie, just give her the answers. That's what my dad would do. No, my dad probably wouldn't do that. He would probably be like, get yourself together, Rach. And really liked the ending. Really liked the callback to Cillian Murphy's character, Jim, still being alive. I really liked that. I thought that was a nice way to sort of round it out. So what was your escalator review? What did you think of this movie?
I feel like I've jumped into yours a couple of times and said most of my points. However, I have one final thing.
I don't think we often disagree.
No.
I think we spend too much time together, Chris. We've become the same person.
Yeah, we agree on a lot of things. We don't have a lot of arguments.
I think especially when it comes to films and stuff, I think we don't often like or dislike different movies.
There is a couple of themes of film, genres of film that you like and I'm not big on.
Which actually I would argue this is. You're not a big horror, you're not a big gory.
Fair.
Yeah, interesting.
That's fair. Anyway, my big point here is what I absolutely love Kelson as a character. I think that he, as a doctor, is understandably kind. He's unwaveringly kind. He doesn't stop being kind to people. Even when he encounters Jimmy for the first time, he tries to counsel him.
He does.
He's like, "So, what problems did you have with your dad?"
Yeah,
and stuff like that, and all that.
And Jimmy even goes, "I like you, and
Yeah.
I don't like anyone."
Yeah, and I feel like whenever he encounters a problem, like Samson, who keeps on coming back to him to get some more morphine, he wants to understand why it's happening and what's going on, rather than just deciding to get rid of the problem. No, go away. As I feel like a lot of people in that world would do. Oh no, there's
He
an
could have
infected,
killed
come
him.
and kill him.
Yeah, he could have.
He could have killed him straight away, but no, he was like, hold on, what's going on here? And he decided to understand. And I feel like that notion of going, hold on, this is a weird scenario. I want to find out about this rather and find out if I need to kill this infected or not, is a sort of notion of thoughts that, especially today, I don't want to get political, but world leaders could definitely think about.
Yeah. There's a sort of a kindness and a curiosity that combine with his character that make him really likable.
And I'm going to address the elephant in the room. There's a scene at the end where Jimmy initially finds him and they think he's the devil, and he says, "No, I'm not." And he only says that to Jimmy, but Jimmy's just like, "Would you mind pretending to be the devil so that then I can do what I need to do?"
As a real cult leader would.
Yeah.
Like, to pull the wool over the eyes of the people following the cult and to pretend about something like a real cultist would.
Exactly. And he says that he would, but he has his own agenda. He's going to get rid of them.
He only says yes because Jimmy says, if you say no, I will cut out your intestines and feed them to you.
To be fair, yeah.
And he's like to Samson at one point, he's like, I haven't felt fear in a long time, and I felt fear today. So he's actually scared of Jimmy.
as he should be.
Yeah, he should be.
Jimmy's off. He's unhinged.
Yeah.
And he sets this whole thing up around his temple. He has all of these, not tea lights, but like candles all around. It's all dark. He has set up this upside down cross with a board in front of his, in front of the skull mound, and he starts Iron Maiden's, what is it called?
It's called the number of the beast, sorry. And this audio rings out. I'm going to play it and see if it'll pick it up. This audio rings out around this bone temple.
Are we going to get copyrighted for this?
No one listens to this podcast. It'll be fine.
Fair enough.
Right, okay. I hope you can hear this.
Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows the time is short. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666.
So he starts that, and then he starts dancing around in front of all of these sadists, and all in red, dressed as the devil.
Can't lie, it goes really hard.
Insane.
It goes real hard.
And frankly, it is the most legendary thing I've ever seen Ralph Fiennes do.
He was giving Voldemort, because he's got this sort of white body paint on and the big black eyes. And
He just didn't have a lack of nose.
he is obviously Voldemort.
Well,
And
he
I was
is,
like,
yeah.
Chris, Voldemort, look. And he does this bit where he's got this like those cages of like metal sparks, and he's doing this twirly thing with the fire.
So he's got like embers in what I can only describe as like a barbell with two cages
Yeah.
either side with embers in them, and he starts twirling it around, and sparks go everywhere. And he's dressed in. If you've seen 28 Years Later, there's a scene in it where he's dumping bodies on a fire or something, and he has the heat-proof suit
Yeah.
thing on that covers his head as well. He's wearing that
Yeah.
as he holds these sparks and
Meanwhile,
things with a cape. and
Iron
everything.
Maiden, number of the beast is going off in the background crazy loud, and like the Satanists are losing their mind.
And he's singing along to the lyrics.
yeah,
Because, as I mentioned, he's a big rock and roll fan.
he's a big rock and roll fan. This was my favorite part of the movie. I thought this was so much fun. Like, actually, I think at that point I'd sort of clocked on to the fact that I wasn't enjoying it as much as I thought I was going to enjoy it. And then when that happened, I was like, oh, okay, I'm back in the room.
Yeah, I loved that. It was so good. And then at the end of that, he notices Spike in the mask. 'Cause
Yeah.
Spike has to wear a mask as part of this sadist group to conform, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And he notices Spike in it, and then realizes, okay, Spike needs saved
Yeah.
from this situation.
He was at that point just trying to save himself from the Jimmy cult.
Get them away from him.
But at that point, after that, he was like, no, I can't let this continue on, because I know Spike and I really like Spike. Love Spike.
So as the devil, he gives Jimmy these things that he wants him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the first few are just to save himself and get Jimmy away from him. But then he says, I have one more, after he notices Spike. You are to crucify yourself in front of everybody else, just like Jesus did.
Yeah.
And Jimmy just sort of goes, yeah, right, and stabs him.
And stabs him. Yeah. A bit gutting, really. And then Samson comes back
Samson comes back and gets Jimmy.
as the devil. Did you remember that bit? So Jimmy's hallucinating because Dr. Kelson's like blown that narcotic in their face.
Yeah.
When they come into the Bone Temple and he lights the fires and he's doing the Iron Maiden thing, he's like blows something at them to make them hallucinate, and eventually one of the Jimmy cult members comes back and like crucifies him, and then Samson returns as well, and because he's still hallucinating, he thinks the devil is his father, because he thinks his father in that church in that original scene became the devil.
Yeah.
So he sees Samson coming back and he's hallucinating that Samson has black eyes and sort of skulls on his shoulder and big massive horns. And you were like, that's sick.
Yeah. I thought, yes, please.
So the crescendo of this film, the crux of this film was I would argue, very entertaining.
And then we're followed up at the end after all this antics has happened. Unfortunately, Kelson does not make it.
No.
But neither does Jimmy.
Neither does
Spoiler
Jimmy.
alert. And Spike and I forget the girl's name.
Jimmy Inc.
Jimmy Inc. Is
Kelly.
one of the other followers, Kelly.
Who finally reveals her name to be Kelly, because obviously
Is
they're not
Kelly.
allowed to tell each other their names.
Yeah. They go off, and then we cut to Cillian Murphy's cottage, where he's
cottage.
talking about the history test to his daughter.
Yep.
And you sat bolt upright in your lounged seat, in your reclined seat.
I did.
And then
I inclined rather than reclined.
you inclined yourself. You inclined yourself without use of the motor. You just sprung right up. And they go outside and realize that, oh no, there's some zombies chasing these two poor people down the hill. Should we help them? And they go, there's only one logical choice here. We have to go and help them. Cock the rifle, and then off they go. End of movie.
It's Spike and Kelly
Yeah.
running away.
And it's Spike and Kelly running away.
So Spike and Kelly are going to meet up with Jim. There is allegedly more films coming.
Okay. I would hope so, because they left it again, like 28 years later, they left it on a bit of a cliffhanger.
I wonder if it might be one of those ones where they check if like the budget's going to float first.
If I'm honest, if the budget isn't there to make another one, I'm okay with it ending like this.
I'm okay with this ending.
Let my imagination go.
I'm okay with this ending here, but I think it's because I didn't really love it.
Fair. That's fair. I quite liked it. But... So, my darling, we have reached the bottom of our singular escalator now. It's a very long one, guys. It's a very long one.
It's an hour and 10 minutes long for the Avatar episode.
It takes a while to get down the bottom. Anyway, what are you rating it out of your 5 popcorns?
I am going to give this a 3 out of 5 popcorns.
Interesting.
I think up until the Iron Maiden scene where he pretended to be Satan, it was going to be a 2. But I think the crux of this film entertained me more. I think the big reveal that Samson was able to talk again was underwhelming enough that I didn't really like. That didn't excite me enough to give it any more than a 3. I like the franchise too much to be okay with how much I didn't like this film. Does that make any sense, what I just said?
Yeah, it makes sense to me, because I understand what you're trying to say.
I think similar to Avatar, I loved the original 2002 film. I liked 28 Years Later, and I found this one okay. I feel a bit indifferent about this one. I do wonder if it's because of the direction, because
you have rated it much better than Avatar, though.
Oh, well, I hated Avatar.
You did. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
I think the bar this film was trying to reach was higher because I have so much respect for the first 2, and I have so much respect for the direction of the first 2. And I do wonder if the common denominator here is that I like Danny Boyle's direction more than I liked Nia, whatever her name is, direction in this one. But yeah, it's getting a 3 popcorns out of 5 popcorns from me. What is it getting from you?
Again, from me, it's getting a 3 out of 5 hot dogs. However, I feel like I am going to be more positive.
Okay.
I feel like it's a 3.0.
Yeah.
For me, it's a 3.8.
It could have been a 2.5 if I was... If I thought about this as I was writing down, it would have been a 2.5 if I was allowed 2.5s.
So you're rounding up.
So I'm rounding up.
I'm rounding
down.
I'm not rounding anywhere. I'm rounding to the nearest, the solid number, the whole number below it.
This is painful. If it was
3.8,
it would have rounded to be a 4.
No, but I've not rounded it. It's not enough to be a 4.
It's not reached.
It's
not
first
past the post.
It's not. The political system has not allowed it. It's not gone past the post.
That's fair.
Okay. It's so I would rate it a 3.8 if I could, but no, it's a 3. I'm rating this higher than you because I liked Kelson, and anybody that is portrayed as being kind and understanding and thoughtful and reasonable in this world, I will always have time for. However, as a story, I can't rate it any higher than a
Boring.
3 compared to the previous one.
Yeah, boring.
I just can't. It's not there yet. It's not there.
I think I found it uninspiring because of the story. I'm bored.
I wanted a bit more threat.
There
I
wasn't
wanted
much
to-
threat at all.
I wanted to feel more in danger,
and
and there wasn't. It
the
was
threat
more.
of the Jimmies was exposed very quickly. The skinning bit happened very early on in the film.
I didn't think that was threatening enough to make me scared, though. I wasn't worried about the Jimmies because I knew that realistically Spike kind of had it handled. He could hide in there enough.
Oh, you're scared for Spike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't feel any threat for myself
No.
or anything
or
like that.
really for Kelson either, because he was too smart. I think.
Kelson was far too smart for them. I
Yeah.
was like, he's got them. No problem.
I mean, he
No
didn't in the end.
biggie.
He got stabbed, but
Nobody did have them
he
because
did.
he still saw them off.
He did, and it just all went wrong at the end. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't think liking a character is enough to hold up the plot.
No, and that's why I can't rate it a 4
Yeah.
or any higher than a 3. I couldn't rate it a 3.5. I couldn't rate it a 3.8.
Well, you're
rate it
not
a 4.
allowed points.
Exactly. So it's staying a 3. We have now reached the part of the show called Guess That Tomato.
Guess that tomato. Tomato.
This is the part where Rich and I, respectively, go and take our chances at guessing the number that the critics have rated it and the audience have rated it on Rotten Tomatoes.
The Rotten Tomatoes
On the
percentage.
Popcornometer and Tomato Meter. For those of you that know, you know.
Do you want me to go first?
You go ahead, my darling.
So, for audience, I've gone for 79. And for critics, I've gone for 82.
Interesting.
I've gone slightly higher than sort of I found it in terms of like enjoyment on both sides. I think there's a lot of respect for the franchise, especially amongst the critics. I think there's a lot of respect for Danny Boyle, who didn't direct it but was still like an executive producer. I think there's enough respect out there that it would have gone down that way. So I've gone 79 for audience, 82 for critics. What have you got?
I've gone exactly the same for both of them in a turn of twist and
In a turn of events.
In a dramatic turn of
He's
events.
hedging his bets on something that's never happened ever.
I'm hedging my bets on rarity. I think the critics. I'm still in the same ballpark as you.
Ballpark.
I'm within 2 of you. I'm
Ooh.
at 80. I think the critics will have rated it an 80 because I think they would have still had issues with it, but they would have liked the artisticness of it.
Mm-hmm.
And for audience, I've also gone 80, exactly the same.
80.
I think that the audience again will have overall liked it a bit more than we did.
Would you like to know?
Let's go for it.
So, audience or critic first?
Critics first.
Critics first. 92%.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Interesting.
I've got the right film here, haven't I? Yeah.
Interesting. You win.
The Bone Temple. 92%. And for the audience, I win, but it's a hollow victory. I mean, I'm 10% out.
What's audience?
Audience is 88%.
What do you mean you win? You guessed 79. I guessed 80.
No. For the critics, I win for the critics.
Oh,
So
you
it's a
win for
hollow
critics,
victory.
absolutely.
Yeah, and you win for the audience.
Oh, right, there we go.
It's much higher than I thought it was.
That is much higher than I thought it would be.
There's some mixed bag reviews. I'm very surprised it's as high as it is for the critics.
Well, from both of us, because we both lowballed both of them.
I'm gonna. Nia DaCosta is the name of the director. I do apologize.
Yes.
I've just found that out from looking on the internet. There's some absolute rave reviews in here.
That loved it.
Loved it. I think that's.
I think these people who loved it weren't necessarily comparing it directly with 28 years later.
So
but they must have been.
Just on a note of comparison, just because I think it's interesting, 28 Years Later got 88% on the tomato meter from the critics,
So
and
less.
63% on the popcornometer.
So far less.
Way less, which is so interesting because I much prefer 28 Years Later.
Yeah.
Like much prefer 28 Years Later.
It's more dystopian, I feel.
And obviously, like, I love the first one. Should we have a wee look at the first one? 28
What do we reckon the
days
first one's got?
later.
Come on, people.
Drum roll, please. 87% on the tomato meter and 85% on the popcornometer. So this third installment is the best reviewed from the critics.
So far, it's been out for what? How 3 weeks?
And I think long enough. I think that is crazy.
That
I
is
mean, we are
crazy.
literally couch critics and we don't know that much about film.
We
But
don't know about cinematography, but like
come on.
we've seen enough films to know what's good and what's not.
I think this one is worth a watch in general. I think this is worth your time. I think it's worth going to see if you like the franchise. I wouldn't go and see it if you hadn't seen 28 Years Later. I don't think it makes enough sense. I recommend 28 Years Later highly, especially if you like Aaron Taylor Johnson and Jodie Comer.
I'd recommend trying to watch 28 Years Later first, so that then you know the sort of context around
Oh,
it.
absolutely. And if you're willing to commit, go right back to the start. Watch 28 Days Later. It's a great film. It's very of its
Fantastic
time.
film.
Very British and of its time.
Fantastic film.
Very good. And to cap things off, who's our shout out of the week?
Our shout out of the week this week. She may have been shouted out already, and she will not know that she has been shouted out. But anyway, our shout out is Lil Button.
She's got no thumbs, so she wouldn't even know what hit her.
No thumbs,
She's
no
got
idea what's going on.
thumbs And is the cutest person ever. This guy. No, I'm just kidding. That was really embarrassing.
And shout out is Little Bubsy, Lil Button. She turned 8 last Monday. So 8 years old. Happy birthday, Button.
That's my
You
parents'
get our
dog.
shout out.
My parents' dog, in case you don't know. Very sweet little.
There shall be a photo up on socials. And if you do not see the photo and immediately like it, you can quite frankly unfollow.
Yeah, please unfollow it because she's the best. But that's it from us this week, and we will speak to you next week.
Speak to you next week. Bye guys. Thanks for listening. Take care.